Japan is called the land of the rising sun. The Japanese name Nippon means the rising sun. The east of the world begins with Japan. Japan is one of the most developed countries in the world. Whether we talk about technology or research, we only hear the name of Japan. The area of Japan is 378,000 square kilometers and the population is 126,666,000. Its coin is yen. $1 is equal to 99.4 yen. The country's income is $46,700. The capital of Japan is Tokyo, which has a population of 13.2 million. The famous city of Japan, Yokohama, Osaka, Hiroshima, Nagoya. You have seen bus conductors who push people onto the bus, but in Japan there are regular civil servants for this job and they are ordered to push people onto the bus during rush hours. Make it so that maximum number of people can travel in the bus and the door of the bus is closed. 98% of Japan's population is Japanese, while the remaining 2% are Koreans, Filipinos, Chinese, Brazilians, and people from other countries. While their main religion is Shintoism, Muslims are few here, and the number of mosques is also small. There are children, but people here prefer to keep older people with them instead of adopting a child. In 2011, 90% of people who were adopted were between the ages of 20 and 30 years. And it is done to inherit one's property. The railway system there is so responsible that if a train is 5 minutes late, the railway company issues certificates to the passengers as proof of the delay, and if the train reaches the station half an hour late, the newspapers are filled with the news. Historical readings have shown that the people here used stones made of seashells, wood and leather, and their diet depended mostly on wild or marine life. There is a village in Japan called Nagoro called the Village of Dolls, which has 390 residents, 350 of which are lifeless dolls and about 40 of the actual living people. And the place is made in memory of the departed. In Japan, there was also a tradition that when the king and his queen died in the royal palace, they would leave their palace and shift to a new palace to avoid the influence of the spirit. Over time, this would have been an expensive and difficult task, so the process was stopped and the capital was built here. The First World War was fought from 1914 to 1918. Which is full of humanitarian events in history. In this war, weapons and poison gas were used for the first time. This war created a new Japan by erasing ancient traditions, ending immortality, and killing up to 9 million people, and the same number died of starvation and genocide. The government here organizes programs for meeting young boys and girls, which means that these people should get married as soon as possible and have children. Since 2010, the population of Japan has been decreasing continuously instead of increasing. Let me tell you another interesting thing. When children cry, parents get worried and 1,000 attempts are made to silence them. But the Japanese people's method is the most unique. People here hold a global competition for crying children, in which children are forced to cry, which child cries the most. Crying first is considered the first grade. They believe that crying keeps the baby healthy and makes the baby happy, so they are threatened to make them cry. A cultural festival called Anamata Suri, which means Girls' Day, is celebrated with great enthusiasm by Japanese people all over the world, including Japan, which starts on March 3rd and ends on March 7th. That by celebrating this festival, the girls born in their house will have good luck and the older girls who are already in the house will have good relations, and for this purpose they make beautiful dolls and go to their houses and they are dressed in red. The streets in Japan are very clean. There are no garbage piles anywhere because this nation likes to live in a very sophisticated and clean environment. Crown melons are the most famous in Japan. One melon is worth $200, which is 50,000 in Pakistan. Another strange thing is that people in Pakistan go to weddings and eat korma on sweet rice, but people in Japan complete the same ritual by putting korma on ice cream, and this is only a Japanese tradition. Children are taught the subject of ethics, which tells them about ethical behavior towards people in everyday matters. From 1st to 3 children have no concept of failure. They believe that these 3 years are their personality. In Japan, every child brings their own toothbrush to school so that they can brush their teeth after eating at school. In order to make him take care of his health from childhood, a unique custom is even more common in Japan, according to which all children clean their classrooms. To create awareness, Mount Fuji Forest is the second largest place of suicide in the world, with more than 70 dead bodies being picked up every year. In Japan, a cleaner is called by a special name which means health engineer, and his salary ranges from $5,000 to $8,000 in US dollars. Japan, the land of the rising sun, is one of the most diverse in terms of its culture, food, and traditions.